Hey guys, welcome back to Rideout MMA. Today we're going to be going over some super simple pad work drills that you could be doing with your partners as a complete beginner with no extra thought, and it's super simple from start to finish. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the video, all that good stuff, and let's do it. So just to start, when we're getting into beginner pad holding, you don't want to overthink doing pad holding, right? We want to keep it kind of as simple as possible, especially when we're complete beginners with this stuff. But even as advanced level pad holders or strikers or whatever you want to call it, right? In general, I keep it super, super simple. So when I'm working with my partners, I won't do like 5, 6, 7 punch combinations and do all that sort of silly boxing drills where they're 6 inches from each other just doing this on the pads. Right? We really want to complete every single strike and make everyone look just as good as the last. So we're constantly getting better with all of the striking that we're doing. So for this drill that we're going to be doing right now, I don't want to like over explain pad holding or put too much thought into it. But when you're pad holding, all you're doing is showing an angle. And that's as simple as we're going to make it. For today, we're just going to be sticking to the 6 fundamental strikes, right? Jabs, crosses, lead hook, rear uppercut, lead uppercut, just those 6 punches. So for doing this drill, all we're going to do for 6 rounds is show them 1 punch for the entire round. It's going to be a minute and a half with about a 10-second break in between. And just as soon as it dings, move on to the next punch. It can really be that easy. So just to start, when we're working with our partners, all I'm going to do for Yaz is just show her my jab. And we're going to do a little bit of footwork in between. Push. And it's that easy. Push. All right, every time she sees that pad, she's going to hit a perfect jab for me. Push. Okay, I'll back her up, but we're only going to be focusing on that 1 punch push the entire time. So after we finish that jab round, we'll move on to the cross, then the lead hook, then the rear hook, lead uppercut, rear uppercut. You don't want to get kind of muddied down and trying to think about combos and constantly switching it up, and try to keep your partner as interested as they possibly can and confused and constantly challenged. You can keep somebody super busy by keeping it this simple, right? Even as we're moving, right, I'll hold the jab. I'll give her some little defensive movements to do. She can defend herself any way that she wants. And again, right back to that jab every single time, right? Then we're moving a little bit, push, right? She can follow me, push. So right in that moment, I made her work her offense. I made her work her defense. She was practicing her footwork, and we're only thinking about 1 punch, which is the cool part of it. I find when we have like complete beginners, they'll try to think of these, right, extravagant combos because we want to challenge and think that we're making our partners better with that. So we'll go like jab, cross, lead uppercut, cross, lead hook, and then lead body hook, then cross, and then jab overhand. And you try to hold that pads and it's all muddy and kind of awkward feeling. And it's not really realistic to what a combination looks like in a fight. Think about when you're actually watching like a real professional bout between like 2 great strikers, right? They're throwing 2, well, really 1 to 4 punches at a time, 4 strikes. And then by that time, their opponent really should be throwing something back, and you sort of need to reset or at least counter or continue to move. If you're going for like, again, that weird boxing stuff where they're just going like this, like what are we really working on at that point? I prefer simplicity over anything else. And this is why beginners can do this. Advanced level fighters can do this, right? Anybody, which is the coolest part about it. Anyways, we move on from the jab after doing that first round. Now it's just a cross. And every single time, Yazzy's going to throw that perfect cross for me, right? She's pivoting her back foot, slamming into that pad. She's not telegraphing at all, and she's working on perfecting that punch for me. And me as the pad holder, I'm going to be checking, is her hand coming back to her face, right? Is she moving her feet? Is she crossing her feet? Right? Is she pivoting her hips? Is she turning her shoulders through, right? Is she using every part of her body to make that punch as best as she can? And then we'll do the lead hook after that round. Right? And any variation. Right? And move her through. Good. Then right after we finish that round, we're on to the rear hook. Right? And I back her up. I make her follow me. And again, back to defense a little bit. I'll look like she's flaring her elbows a little bit, right? She can work her head movement. And I'm not being over challenging. I'm not trying to do something like this, right? Because I know what she's going to do. I'm not going to try to take advantage of the fact that she's reaching her arm out and then as she does it, like try to smack her. What's she learning at that point? right? Be realistic when we're working through these motions. Try to make it feel like you're simulating that realistic pace to a fight. All right, you move around a little bit, right, couple smacks, bit of footwork, she follows you along, right? And if she screws up that punch, give her a couple more chances to get it right before you start getting into like making it more exciting with hitting and footwork and all that stuff. Then we do our lead uppercut, same deal, right? I'm holding at her head height the entire time. And this is just a great way to learn pad holding too. Well, don't drop that right hand when you throw your lead uppercut. There we go. And as a pad holder, you're always a teacher too. You don't want to say too much, but don't be afraid to help your partners out with their technique. Good. Okay, now we're on to the rear uppercut round. In each one of these rounds, I would do at least a minute and a half. Good. All right, a little bit of footwork. Right, you can make it slightly more dynamic by mixing in these punches into counters. You could call off doubles. You could hold the body variations of those punches and the head. It really doesn't matter. So, right, let's say, for example, for the uppercut round again. Okay, Yazzie, every time I hit you to the body on that side, you're going to counter with that uppercut. So she'll wait for it. All right, I'll move with her. She'll defend herself from everything else. As soon as I hit that body, but again, we don't want to muddy this up a little bit. If even that's too complicated, don't assume that your partner's getting bored. Only focus on just making that punch perfect every single time. One last thing that we can add to this, at the very end, after you finish those individual strike rounds, we just did 6 rounds in a row. Your partner should be warmed up, right? They should have been working hard the entire time. They should have been challenged in their footwork and their defense. Now, whatever I show my partner, that's what she's going to hit. So as we do our footwork, I don't need to say anything. If I just show her the angle of the pad, right? Fighters are very visual. She'll be able to tell exactly what she needs to hit. All right, and I just keep showing her angles. And where I'm holding my pads, I kind of hold them on my chest like this and flash them from this angle. And you want to feel like you're simulating the shape of a head. And again, this isn't necessarily right to learn how to pad hold right now. That's a video for in the future, but this is a way that we can drill with our partners. Okay, again, simplistic pad holding, constantly challenging them. Whatever she sees, she's got to hit it. And always bringing those hands back after every single strike. Yeah. Good job. Awesome. Beautiful hitting. All right, and look how exciting that was. I didn't need to say anything. I didn't need to think about any combinations. I gave her a couple hits, and I really showed, I communicated visually, right? This is what you're hitting. This is what you're hitting. This is what you're hitting. This is what it is. This, right? The entire time. And that's only 6 punches, really easy. Don't have to say a word. Just show them the shot every time. Thank you so much for watching Rideout MMA. Hopefully you learned something today. Leave a comment if there's something that you want to learn or work on in the future that you think I can teach you. I really appreciate to see it. And like the video and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.